For individuals past the age of 60, there is a widespread misunderstanding that happens right at the start of each day. The belief that gulping down a large glass of regular water is the absolute best thing for your health. Yet for numerous seniors, this simply falls short and might actually cause increased fatigue, dizziness, and lingering dehydration. This occurs because as we age past our 60s, the body's natural thirst mechanism becomes less prominent. The kidneys lose some of their ability to retain water effectively, and the delicate balance of fluids, potassium, and sodium grows highly sensitive, particularly for those managing heart conditions, kidney issues, or taking diuretics and blood pressure medications. Therefore, the objective is absolutely not to eliminate water intake entirely, but rather to move away from relying exclusively on plain water and begin adopting smarter hydration strategies that utilize beverages designed to help your cells actually retain moisture, enhance blood circulation, and supply the vital minerals required to maintain a consistent heartbeat, sharp cognitive function, and unwavering energy levels. Throughout this guide, I will reveal 7 straightforward beverages you can incorporate immediately, explaining the safe usage of each and highlighting which ones to steer clear of if you suffer from specific medical issues, all while keeping things highly practical, meaning no pricey supplements or convoluted recipes, just effective solutions. One crucial caveat before diving in: this information does not substitute for professional medical advice, and anyone dealing with kidney disease, heart failure, or specific fluid limitations must consult their healthcare provider, as certain supposedly beneficial drinks could be harmful to your unique situation. Moving to the first drink. It represents the simplest modification you can make to ordinary water and directly addresses the most frequent hydration error made by those over 60. Mineral water or a mildly formulated electrolyte beverage, simply because proper hydration goes beyond mere liquid and requires the combination of fluids and essential minerals. Whenever you consume only unadorned water, particularly in large volumes at once, it has the potential to wash out and dilute your electrolytes rapidly, which perfectly explains why some folks find themselves constantly rushing to the restroom while continuing to suffer from leg cramps, exhaustion, or a dry mouth. An intelligent electrolyte option does not need to be heavily sweetened or heavily marketed as a sports drink. In fact, the most basic approach involves just a dash of salt and a squirt of fresh lemon in your water, or, alternatively, a low-sugar, unflavored electrolyte powder. This strategy is effective because tiny quantities of glucose and sodium facilitate better intestinal absorption, whereas potassium bolsters the functionality of muscles and nerves, which includes the electrical pathways of the heart. The guiding principle here is straightforward. Maintain a light concentration rather than making it taste like salty broth, and deploy it tactically, perhaps immediately upon waking, following a stroll, or whenever you feel prone to lightheadedness or headaches. Naturally, those with kidney ailments, unmanaged high blood pressure, or strict sodium restrictions must exercise caution with added salts and seek out low-sodium alternatives. Yet for a vast number of older adults, this singular adjustment can eliminate that frustrating sensation of feeling unwell despite drinking plenty of water. The second drink on our list is an exceptional ally for cardiovascular health that simultaneously promotes proper blood vessel operation. And it happens to be something you can relish either chilled or hot: green tea. What makes green tea so remarkable is its dual ability to hydrate while supplying natural botanical compounds known as catechins, particularly EGCG, which numerous studies have associated with improved cholesterol profiles and enhanced blood vessel dynamics. For older individuals, the tangible benefit here translates to better overall circulation, resulting in warmer extremities, more consistent energy throughout the day, and a significant reduction in that post-breakfast lethargy. However, consuming it correctly is paramount. Individuals who are sensitive to caffeine or who are on specific medications for heart rhythm should avoid downing a massive, overly potent mug on an empty stomach. The better approach is to opt for a gentler steep or select decaffeinated varieties, ensuring you consume it alongside or shortly after eating a small meal or snack. Furthermore, if you happen to be taking blood-thinning medications, maintaining a steady daily intake is far more crucial than sudden spikes, as biological consistency heavily outweighs perfection. For a swift flavor enhancement that simultaneously assists with blood sugar regulation, consider sprinkling in a tiny pinch of cinnamon, making the tea highly enjoyable without the need for any added sweeteners. Our third beverage ranks among the most underappreciated choices for seniors, despite its profound benefits for gut health. A system intrinsically linked to immunity, inflammation control, and even emotional well-being. Kefir, or a similar yogurt beverage rich in live cultures. Passing the age of 60 often means experiencing sluggish digestion, diminished stomach acid production, and the introduction of prescription drugs that alter the internal environment of the gut. Such changes frequently result in uncomfortable bloating, unpredictable bowel habits, and the inadequate absorption of vital nutrients like magnesium and B12. Kefir steps in by providing a blend of hydration, high-quality protein, and beneficial probiotics that actively cultivate a more robust intestinal microbiome. The secret to success with this drink lies in managing portion sizes and individual tolerance, meaning you should initiate the habit with a modest half-cup serving. Overwhelming a digestive system unaccustomed to fermented goods can trigger initial gassiness. Those with mild lactose sensitivities often find kefir much easier to digest than traditional milk. But if that remains problematic, lactose-free variations are readily available. Diabetics must rigorously scrutinize nutritional labels to shun any varieties laced with added sugars, sticking to plain kefir and sweetening it naturally with a handful of fresh berries is the optimal path. A brilliant everyday tactic for seniors involves enjoying kefir during the afternoon to curb late-night snacking urges, as its protein content fosters a sensation of sustained fullness rather than sudden energetic spikes. Moving on to the fourth option, we find a heart-protective drink that offers mild assistance with blood pressure and circulation, provided it is consumed safely. Beet juice, or more accurately for the majority of people, a significantly watered-down beet beverage. Beets are abundantly loaded with dietary nitrates, compounds that the human body expertly transforms into nitric oxide, which serves as a signaling molecule prompting blood vessels to widen and relax. This physiological response naturally encourages better blood flow and healthier blood pressure levels, which in senior populations frequently translates to enhanced stamina during walks and a noticeable decrease in physical tightness during exertion. Nevertheless, pure beet juice is incredibly potent and can harbor substantial amounts of naturally occurring sugars, making dilution the smartest strategy. Consider blending a modest splash of the juice into a larger glass of water, or incorporate a small cooked beet into a smoothie packed with fibrous additions like chia seeds. It is worth noting that individuals plagued by high oxalates or kidney stones might need to bypass beets entirely, and anyone whose blood pressure already dips low or who experiences dizziness upon standing up should experiment with this drink very cautiously, given that further relaxing the blood vessels might exacerbate feelings of faintness. Drink number 5 serves as a comforting elixir capable of subtly enhancing sleep quality while fighting inflammation, a factor that influences heart health far more than generally recognized. Tart cherry juice, which once again must be diluted and utilized purposefully as a functional tool rather than a sweet indulgence. Tart cherries are packed with anthocyanins and naturally occurring compounds related to melatonin, both of which have been thoroughly researched for their positive impacts on physical recovery and sleep cycles. Securing a better night of rest inherently promotes superior blood pressure regulation the following day and aids in appetite management, ultimately safeguarding cardiovascular health over the long haul. The safest application involves mixing a small splash of the juice into a glass of water, approximately 1 to 2 hours before retiring to bed. Diabetic individuals must exercise heightened vigilance here, maintaining extremely small portions or sourcing a low-sugar alternative to definitively avoid any disruptive glucose spikes during the night. Yet, for countless older adults who find themselves agonizingly awake at 2 or 3 in the morning, this represents an incredibly gentle and straightforward remedy. The sixth beverage is frequently overlooked simply because it seems too basic. Yet, it stands as one of the premier daily options for mature adults seeking tranquil digestion and reliable energy. Ginger tea. Ginger actively facilitates the digestive process by encouraging the stomach to empty its contents more efficiently. While its potent anti-inflammatory characteristics can offer relief from lingering nausea and morning joint stiffness. For anyone enduring post-meal bloating or suffering from a heavy, uncomfortable sensation in the chest that is actually rooted in indigestion, sipping on warm ginger tea after a midday meal can be entirely transformative. There is no requirement to purchase expensive, specialized products. Simply steeping slices of fresh ginger root in boiling water is perfectly sufficient. The only caveat involves those on blood-thinning regimens or individuals who bruise with ease. In such cases, intake should remain moderate and steady rather than excessive. Finally, we arrive at drink number 7, which is simultaneously the most incorrectly consumed and, when prepared properly, the most formidable nutrient delivery system for those over 60, a straightforward protein smoothie, completely distinct from a sugary dessert-like milkshake. The aging process naturally strips away muscle mass, and preserving the muscle is absolutely critical for maintaining glucose stability, physical balance, and long-term personal independence. A well-crafted protein smoothie successfully hydrates the body while supplying easily digestible protein, proving especially advantageous for those who lack a strong morning appetite. The blueprint is effortless. Begin with a fluid foundation such as unsweetened milk or water. Incorporate a solid protein source like a scoop of reputable protein powder or plain Greek yogurt. Add fibrous elements like flax or chia seeds. And finish with a modest portion of fruit, such as berries. Maintaining a low sugar profile is imperative, as the overarching objective is to achieve stable blood glucose rather than riding a roller coaster of spikes and crashes. While kidney disease patients must verify appropriate protein levels with their medical team, ensuring adequate protein intake is frequently the vital missing component that dramatically boosts everyday energy and wards off physical frailty in seniors. Before you begin selecting your preferred options, it is essential to grasp the most critical aspect of this entire protocol: how to match specific beverages to your unique physical requirements, as the ideal drink is entirely dependent upon your digestive health, blood sugar levels, blood pressure trends, and current medications. If muscle cramps are a frequent nuisance or you take diuretics, the electrolyte solution should immediately become your top priority. If achieving restful sleep is your primary hurdle, Tart cherry juice transforms into your go-to tool. If digestive woes plague your days, ginger tea and Kefir should form your foundational rotation. And if you feel your physical strength and daily vitality waning, the protein smoothie is your definitive starting point. Moving forward, establishing a daily rhythm for these beverages prevents overwhelming confusion. Alongside understanding the 3 specific drinks that secretly promote dehydration or elevate blood pressure without immediate warning, the foremost beverage demanding caution after 60 is alcohol. While a periodic glass isn't universally forbidden, recognizing its intensified impact on an aging body is crucial. Alcohol fundamentally behaves as a diuretic, aggressively stripping the body of fluids while simultaneously disrupting sleep architectures, elevating blood pressure in sensitive individuals, and heightening the danger of irregular cardiac rhythms, particularly for those with a history of palpitations. Its deceptive nature lies in the immediate relaxation it provides, masking the underlying dehydration until the subsequent morning when you awaken with a racing pulse, a pounding headache, and an incredibly dry mouth, prompting a frantic but ineffective attempt to rehydrate with plain water. If alcohol remains part of your lifestyle, the safest protocol dictates keeping portions minimal, avoiding consumption right before sleep, and always coupling the drink with a substantial glass of water and a snack rich in minerals rather than empty calorie chips. The second beverage category, masquerading as healthy while quietly wreaking havoc on blood pressure, includes heavily caffeinated coffees on an empty stomach and syrupy, sugar-laden coffee concoctions, primarily because the timing and dosage of the caffeine are the true culprits, not the caffeine itself. Morning stress hormones naturally peak higher in older adults, meaning a robust cup of coffee can artificially inflate heart rates, trigger transient blood pressure spikes, and induce feelings of anxiety that are frequently misattributed to simply getting older, when they are actually the result of a harsh stimulant crash. Coffee enthusiasts need not abandon their favorite brew. Instead, simply recalibrate by consuming it post-breakfast, opting for a weaker or half-caffeinated blend, and strictly avoiding the sugary syrups and whipped toppings that convert a morning ritual into a metabolic disaster. The third deceptive category involves ostensibly healthy fruit juices, particularly blends, apple juice, and orange juice, which essentially function as concentrated liquid sugar. Consuming juice rapidly escalates blood glucose levels, a spike that aggressively drives up internal inflammation and steadily deteriorates triglyceride and blood pressure metrics over time. For the senior demographic, this poses a massive problem because the influx of sugar draws water directly into the digestive tract, actively elevating dehydration risks and leaving you feeling parched shortly after, thereby trapping you in a frustrating cycle of drinking more while perpetually feeling exhausted and dry. Those craving the essence of fruit should severely dilute their juice, or far more preferably, consume the whole fruit in its natural state while hydrating with tea or water. Constructing a frictionless daily schedule resolves the common issue of simply forgetting to drink amidst a busy routine, breaking the day into 3 manageable windows: morning, midday, and evening. Your morning objective centers on replenishing lost fluids while anchoring energy and blood pressure, making a mild electrolyte beverage or mineral water the perfect starting point, particularly if morning leg cramps, dizziness upon standing, or a parched mouth are regular occurrences. Allow your system 10 to 15 minutes to process this before moving on to coffee or green tea, ensuring these are consumed after a modest breakfast rather than beforehand to sidestep any jittery reactions. For those battling constipation, introducing warmth is highly effective. Warm mineral water, ginger tea, or hot water infused with lemon can stimulate the digestive tract far more efficiently than freezing cold liquids. The midday window represents the danger zone where seniors most frequently succumb to dehydration while navigating errands and medications, habitually neglecting their fluid intake until they feel physically unwell. This block requires consistent, steady hydration where plain water is acceptable, though pairing it with digestive supporting nutrients is significantly superior. This is the optimal moment for a yogurt drink or kefir, particularly to combat post-lunch sluggishness or afternoon bloating, assuming your blood pressure does not naturally run low. Late morning or early afternoon is also the prime time to introduce a small, diluted beet beverage to bolster stamina and circulation, provided you carefully monitor how you feel when rising from a seated position. As evening approaches, the focus drastically shifts toward facilitating recovery and ensuring uninterrupted sleep rather than prompting endless nocturnal bathroom visits. Gulping massive quantities of water right before bed is a fundamental error. Instead, transition to taking small, deliberate sips throughout the evening. If elusive sleep is your primary concern, employing a small dose of diluted tart cherry juice an hour or two before turning in proves highly beneficial. Should late-night hunger pangs be your nemesis, consuming a modest protein smoothie during the late afternoon or early evening effectively stabilizes blood sugar and curbs the appetite, significantly diminishing the likelihood of waking up hungry. For those battling acid reflux, it is imperative to confine acidic beverages to the earlier parts of the day. Entirely avoid nighttime peppermint tea, as it can inappropriately relax the esophageal valve. And rely exclusively on warm water or soothing ginger tea. To guarantee maximum safety, precisely aligning these beverages with common age-related health profiles is vital to dispel any lingering confusion. Individuals managing high blood pressure should establish mineral water, ginger tea, and unsweetened green tea as their closest allies, while treating heavy morning caffeine, alcohol, and sugary drinks as strict caution zones. Conversely, those prone to low blood pressure and standing dizziness should embrace morning electrolyte drinks while exercising. Extreme caution with potent beet beverages or any substance known to depress blood pressure further. Prediabetic or diabetic individuals must adhere to one non-negotiable rule: absolutely no liquid sugars, encompassing sweetened yogurt drinks, fancy coffees, commercial juices, and sugary health tonics, focusing exclusively on fiber-rich protein shakes, diluted variants, plain teas, and water. When bloating and constipation dominate your concerns, spreading consistent hydration throughout the entire day is crucial, leaning heavily on ginger tea, kefir, and warm fluids rather than isolated, massive gulps of cold water. Lastly, individuals prescribed diuretics must proactively discuss electrolyte management with their physician, as overly zealous salt restriction is frequently the hidden cause behind irregular heartbeats, profound weakness, and debilitating cramps. Implementing these strategies requires adopting a few rapid-fire rules to prevent overcomplication. Sip continuously rather than chugging. Invariably pair caffeine consumption with actual food. Treat all fruit juices as occasional desserts rather than hydration tools. Utilize electrolytes purposefully and sparingly, and immediately adjust your approach if any beverage provokes sleep disruption, jitteriness, or dizziness, as this is your body clearly communicating its limits. An excellent low-stress starting point involves selecting merely 2 enhancements for the upcoming week, perhaps a midday gut-supporting kefir and a morning mineral water, and only expanding your repertoire if genuinely necessary. As a final note regarding safety, this powerful approach to hydration past the age of 60 must be executed intelligently, meaning you must immediately halt and consult a medical professional. If you encounter warning signals such as persistent dizziness, sudden breathing difficulties, rapid weight fluctuations, or unexplained bodily swelling,